Good morning. What I want to do today is I want to show you some features of Chrome and also settings in Gmail that will be useful for anybody that's going to be using the system. All right, for the very beginning here, when you're in Chrome, which you see I'm logged into Chrome here, there's two different settings. The settings right here under these three lines, this is the settings for the browser. And if you can see, you're connected right here. I've signed in as with my personal Gmail account because then I actually can use these bookmarks and settings and everything no matter which computer I'm on. So I stay logged into this one all the time. But obviously, when you go back to Mail, you can see that I'm logged into Whitetail Properties account. Okay, so this is where your settings are for the browser. Now, within settings in the browser, these are the things that you can do. So when you want to show the home button right here, the home button is actually this button right up here. And if you don't want to see that, you can get rid of it. Okay, the bookmarks bar, that's this right here. This is your bookmarks bar. And if you get rid of that, it drops that out. But that's a good idea to keep that. And if you notice that my bookmarks bar has a lot of icons on it, well, the reason I have that is because when you go in here, you can actually take these icons and you can set them to be just the icon by taking out the name completely. So when you completely take out the name, what it does is if it has an icon for that, then that's all you see. You don't have to see the whole entire thing. So you can actually put a lot of bookmarks on your bookmarks bar by just getting rid of the name out of it completely. And how you do that is you just right click on it and you go to edit. And then you blank out the name right here, and that's all you have to do. All right, that's one, just the bookmark setting, and that is your couple of settings right there. Now we go back into settings. You have, this is where you can set what your home page wants to be. This is which search engine, so you put search engine. It tells you who is currently logged into your browser. And if you need to go to advanced settings, this is very crucial because if you wanted to go and get rid of, let's say you wanted to clear your browsing data, or if you're having problems and you've got like cookies that are messing things up or whatever, what you do is you can go to all cookies and site data right here, and you can remove all of them, or you could go through and find ones that are causing problems within your browser, and you can just hit this X over here and it will get rid of them. So if you have anything like an adware or ads that are popping up, you can actually go in and find all of those problem sites and you can get rid of them. And one way to find them quickly, let's say you have ads that are popping up that you don't want, you can just type in ad and it'll pull up anything that has ad in it. So if there's something that you know is giving you problems, you can actually get rid of it right here. Okay, this is where you can manage exceptions, JavaScript, different things like that. And that's right here in clear, that's in clear browsing data. And then you have content settings, which this is where your cookies and exceptions, you can tell it what to do here with your cookies. So if you don't want to be tracked, you can set it up here to not allow any cookies. But if you do that, then none of your saved stuff. So you would have to re-input stuff. A lot of your banking and stuff like that, they will hold on to cookies to allow you to reconnect. Otherwise, it shows that you're at a foreign location and it'll. So sometimes cookies are good, but there might be some sites that you want to block. So you can tell it what to do here. All right, now moving on to privacy right here. This is where you would check things, what you wanted to do with and how you search the internet. It's all right here. Okay, if you want passwords saved, it's right here. And you can manage them right here. So you hit manage autofill and it actually will show you all of your saved passwords. It'll also show your saved credit cards, and you can add or take away them right here. Same right here. You can add, and so you can add all your addresses right here, your saved passwords. It'll do all your autofill stuff right here. That's the autofill stuff that Chrome will automatically fill in for you if you want it there. And then you have the save your web passwords, and that's where you can manage those too. It'll actually show you what it is, what the username is, and then what the password is. And if you actually, if you want to show them, there is a way that you can show the passwords. But that's up to you if you want to do. Like if you forget your password, this is where you could find it. Okay. The rest of this stuff is like where you want to put your downloads. That could be important because if you download a lot of stuff, well, you could create a place to put it. Most of the time, it just goes into your downloads folder, which is a good place. Is that way you always know where it's at. Printing, if you wanted to set up Google Cloud printing, you can set it up right here. And that's pretty much all of the settings for the Chrome browser. All right. Now, when you want to set up your Gmail, the settings for Gmail are right here on this gear. So anytime you want to look at your picture, right below your picture is the gear, and then here's the settings right here. This is all the settings for Gmail. The very first one you open up to is General. The General tab has a lot of, you can predetermine what your text is going to look like when you send out emails. You can set it up to use all of these different stars. So if you want to label things using stars and the eye and all these little different icons on your emails, this is where you determine your chat is on or off. This is your mail notifications, things like that. Keyboard shortcuts. This is where you can change your picture. And you can tell whether it is to everyone or just people that you chat with. This is where you also set up to create contacts. You can either, everybody that sends you an email, you receive an email from, it'll automatically create a contact automatically, or you can just do it yourself. This is where you put your signature, if you have any changes to your signature. If you have your signature embedded right here, the only thing that you can change is really like if your direct line changes, you can change it right here. Don't try to change anything else in the signature, but this is where it's at. And what you could also do is this is where your vacation reminder or responder is, or your out of office or whatever you're going to do. You can actually set it to the first day and the last day. So it'll turn on by itself and it'll shut off by itself. And you just put in a message of what you want. And then when you're done on this tab, anything you've made changes to in this entire tab, if you've made changes, this will come up and it won't be grayed out. It'll actually be black. You always want to make sure that you hit save changes at the end anytime you make changes. Otherwise, it doesn't take effect. Okay, that is the General tab. The next tab is your Labels tab. These are your labels. Everything over here, this is your labels, how you organize your email address. And all of that is set up over here. Well, in this Labels tab is where you can decide what you're going to do with those labels. So if you've got any of these labels, you want to use them, you can either show them or you can hide them. So if you've got labels you've created that you don't want to be there, you can get rid of, you can not show them, you can hide them. If you want to create any labels, this is where you create them. And when you hit create new label, what it does is you create the label. But the good thing about it is this is also where nest label, what the nest is what it's telling you is this is where the label needs to sit under. So if you want it to sit under the inbox, if you want it to sit under, and when you hit that, you can actually, any label you've already created are in this list. So it's just a drop-down list, which is kind of nice because if you have, let's say you have 2015 and you wanted to create a label that says January, all the months of that year, you could create them and you could nest them under that and it would be nice and neat and organized. But that's totally up to how you want to organize your email account. So that's the label section. Accounts. This is kind of important because if your name for some reason comes up really weird and it's not showing correctly, this is where you would fix that. So like it tells you this, you're going to send mail as, and it puts it right here. You hit edit right there and it brings up this window which tells you what your name is going to appear when you send out email. If you want it to appear something different, you just go down here and you make it different. The odds are you probably don't want to do that. You just want it to be your first and last name. However you want it to say, that's what you want to put it here. But by default, it just does your first and last name. So if anything, if somebody tells you, hey, your email address is coming across weird or something, this is where you would fix it. Okay, filters and blocked addresses. This is where you can set up filters. So if you have email that you get from the same person, you want it to go to the same box, you can actually set it up to go there right here. You just create the filters right here. You can create a new one right here. Once you have them, you can edit them right there. So if something changes, you can always edit them. And then if you want to block things, you can block it right here under filters and blocked addresses. All right, and that's what's in this section. Now forwarding. This is where, let's say you need to forward your mail to somebody. You're going to be out of town, but you want all of your mail to go to somebody. So those of you that have assistants here in the office, if you know you're going to be gone, I mean, granted, they probably check your email anyways, but if there's somebody else that you need to forward your mail to, you do it right here. All you do is you hit add forwarding address, okay? You put in the email address you want it forwarded to. So you could even do it with yourself. Let's say you have 2 or 3 email accounts and you want to say, I just want to check one account. I don't want to check all of my accounts. You could actually forward this to another account. And then as soon as you put in the email address, what it does is when you complete the process, it sends an email saying this person wants to forward their emails to you. Do you accept? And once you accept it, now everything that comes in gets forwarded to that email address. That's pretty much the biggest part of this. The rest of this stuff probably wouldn't be worthwhile, but the forwarding one, that's pretty important. And then the rest of these, chat, they kind of self-explanatory what you want to do. If you use the Google Hangouts quite a bit, that's kind of where this would come in. But the rest of it, that's pretty much all of the settings within Gmail and most of the settings in Chrome. The biggest thing about logging into Chrome and why I even mention it is because when you are logged into Chrome, if you have the reason that's the reason that I always stay logged into my personal is because I could log into this anywhere and I can pull up all of my my pre-established bookmarks. I can pull up all those things that I have already, but it also brings up all of those saved passwords. It brings up all of that stuff. And if you ever, like, let's say you're at a library or at somebody's house, or you need to get to something that you know is only on your Chrome. Well, you log into Chrome and you bring everything, but then when you're done, you hit disconnect the account. Okay, it brings up this dialog. What you do is you hit also clear the history, bookmark settings. So what you can do is you can wipe. So if you're with somebody else and you log into Chrome, you can completely wipe it out by hitting clear history. So you hit that and then you hit disconnect account, and it completely wipes the Chrome, takes it back to like nobody's ever been logged into it. So it's kind of a really good way to travel with your browser. And then something else you can look at, and that's within your settings, obviously. Another thing that Chrome has, which is kind of nice, is your extensions. Okay, this is where you can actually add things, and I've added quite a bit of extensions to my Chrome browser, and those all display up here. You'll see Drive, you'll see the web launcher, you'll see all these different things that I've added to my Chrome, and those are all extensions, okay? And you also have kind of what they have called apps. Well, anytime you want to add something, or if you think you want to try something out, you can go into, this is the apps that I currently have, okay? And they'll display like that. But if you ever want to add to it, All you have to do is go into here and you just type it in. So if you want to do video editing, if you wanted to do anything you wanted to do or might do, it's all going to be in here. And what you can do is you can search for it. So there's actually there's a plugin to be able to edit and export and import most of the stuff within the Microsoft Office suite. So you just type in Office here, and there's something. So what this does is it'll create, edit, and share Word documents within Drive. Okay, here's another. There's this extension right here which I've added, and this one is Office Editing for Docs, Sheets, and Slides. View and edit Microsoft Word, Excel, and PowerPoint files with Google Docs, Sheets, and Slides. Okay, so that you can do that within Drive. It's kind of a nice feature, and it allows you to export them and import them and things like that. It's something you could get and you could mess around with it. But the good thing about 90% of these things in here is they're free. They don't cost you anything. And if you don't like it, you can just get rid of it. All right, and that's the apps section. But all you have to do is you click on apps right here, and you will see this right here, this web store. That's where it's at. And then you also have all these things that whatever you've done there. Those are all apps that you can download. Now you notice my background's a little different. That is actually under themes. I didn't show you that. All right, so we were talking about themes. They are right here under Appearance. You can reset to a default, or you can get themes. And all that does is it gives you a kind of a different background on your Chrome. So it's not just kind of generic. There is tons in there, and all you do is click on them and just add them. And you can see that they're all free. It's just a way to make Chrome look different or unique for you. That's totally up to you. I just thought they'd throw that in there, and it's right here under Appearance. All right, now one thing I was going to talk about, and it will be very short. It is specifically related to Drive. Okay, now if you wanted to move Drive onto an external drive, so you connect it to your machine, and all you have to do is you go in here, and first thing you do is you quit Drive. Okay, so you quit Drive, and then it'll quit. Okay, then you go into your file structure, no matter what that is. If it's a Mac, you're going to click on Finder, and you're going to find Drive. Okay, you're going to find where Drive is. All you have to do is, with a Mac, you get Info, and you go in here and you change the name of Drive. Okay, you can change to anything. You could just call it whatever. You just have to make it to where it doesn't look like that anymore. Okay, and if you wanted to do it in a Windows machine, let's show you a Windows machine. Okay, well, now you see this is a Windows machine. As soon as it refreshes back again, with a Windows machine, same thing. You've got Drive down here, and my Drive is currently not working. So what you do is you go to your file structure. As soon as it pulls up here, okay, and you find Google Drive, and you do the same thing. But in here, you can actually copy it right here. You can go to Properties, and you change the name of that drive, okay? And I'll kind of show you what it does. Let me do it real quick. Okay, you just get rid of it, okay? Okay, so now it's just that. So when I go ahead and start Drive, it's going to immediately go, hey, where's that folder? Okay. Well, in this case, it just put it's saying it can't find it. Okay. So click on that. Okay. And then what you do is you've taken Google Drive and you've put it onto an external drive. So you go to locate it. Okay. Then it will pull up your folder structure, and then you can either make a new folder, or you can find that external drive in here and you can find your folder, and then you hit OK. And that will link it to that external folder. And when you do that, then from that point forward, now Google Drive will be only on your external drive. It won't be on your hard drive anymore. And then that's all you have to do to move it to an external drive. So I just wanted to throw that out there for anybody that might want to do that. Okay. That's pretty much everything I have at this point. So let me know if you have any questions. Drop me an email. But other than that, have a good day.